Welcome to another deep dive. Today we are going to try to tackle a question that's pretty intriguing, but honestly a little bit daunting too.
hmm
How do uh, how do higher density beings perceive humanity?
It's a great question.
Yeah, we've got some pretty fascinating material from the Law of One to kind of guide us. What do you think?
Yeah, the law of one, I think it's a perspective that can really challenge our everyday understanding of ourselves and the universe.
Absolutely. So let's dive in. One of the concepts from the Law of One that I found most striking, I guess, is the idea that we as humans are distortions of the one infinite creator.
Right.
I have to admit that the first time I heard that phrasing, it struck me as a little harsh. Made me wonder if we're flawed in their eyes somehow. You know what I mean?
It's easy to hear it that way. I think the key, though, is to understand how Ra, the entity channeled in the law of one, uses that term distortion. It's not meant as a judgment,
Yeah.
but rather as a description of our current state of evolution.
Okay, I'm listening.
Think of it like a perfect beam of white light passing through a prism.
Okay, I'm picturing that.
So the light itself remains pure, but it gets refracted and expressed as a spectrum of colors. And so we as individual souls are like those different colors, all part of the original source,
Mhm.
but exploring unique facets of existence.
So it's more about like differentiation than deficiency then.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the journey, I think, for all of us is to use our experiences in this physical reality, to learn and grow and to ultimately reunite with that source of oneness.
That makes a lot of sense. But if we're all striving towards this unity, why does there seem to be so much struggle and conflict in our world?
Yeah, that's where I think the concept of catalyst comes in.
Okay.
Rands emphasizes that our challenges, even the ones that feel painful or unfair to us, are actually opportunities for growth.
Hmm.
They're not punishments, but rather these catalysts that are designed to help us learn and evolve.
So even the things we perceive as negative can have a positive purpose in this broader cosmic context. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's the idea. It's like a soul choosing to incarnate on Earth, knowing that it will face hardship, right?
Yeah.
Because it knows that those experiences offer incredibly potent lessons
Hmm.
that can really accelerate spiritual growth. Imagine like signing up for a challenging course because you know it's going to push you to learn and expand your abilities.
That is a really good analogy. It really helps. I
Yep.
like that. It really reframes this whole idea of suffering as something we might actually choose at a soul level
Right.
for the sake of learning. It's really interesting. It also makes me wonder about the role of compassion, though. If higher density beings see our struggles as opportunities, does that mean they also see us with a deeper level of understanding than we might see ourselves or each other?
I think that's a crucial point. I think their perspective isn't one of judgment,
Okay.
but rather one of profound compassion.
Hmm.
They see the bigger picture, the ultimate goal of our journey, and they understand that our missteps and challenges are just necessary parts of the process.
That's that's incredibly reassuring. It suggests they're not looking down on us for making mistakes, but rather supporting us as we kind of navigate these experiences.
Yeah.
Hmm. And their compassion isn't limited to those who are consciously striving for spiritual growth, is it?
Right.
Because the Law of One makes it clear that even those who are choosing a path of service to self are ultimately seeking the same thing,
Right.
that unity with the Creator, even if their approach is, well, different.
Exactly.
That's a very different way of looking at things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really challenges the traditional idea of good versus evil. It kind of suggests that there's this deeper unity underlying even seemingly opposing paths. And it also makes me wonder about free will. If higher density beings are so compassionate and aware, why don't they intervene more directly to help us avoid making mistakes? You know?
Well, the law of one emphasizes that free will is paramount.
Right.
No being, no matter how advanced, can force another to evolve or to choose a particular path. They have to respect our right to make our own choices. Even if those choices lead to what we might perceive as negative consequences, it's about allowing us to learn and grow through our own experiences, even if those experiences are difficult.
So it's not about them withholding help, but rather about honoring our autonomy and allowing us to forge our own path.
Precisely. Think of it like this. If someone constantly stepped in to solve all of your problems, or to prevent you from making any mistakes, would you ever truly learn? Would you ever truly develop your own strength and wisdom?
That's a really good point. It's like the difference between being handed the answer and actually figuring it out for yourself.
Yeah.
The struggle is part of the learning process.
Exactly.
This is making me rethink my whole definition of help. you know.
Right.
It's not necessarily about rescuing someone from difficulty, but about supporting their growth, even when that growth involves challenges.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that kind of support can take many forms, can it?
It can.
The Law of One even talks about souls who choose to incarnate from higher densities, specifically to help with the transition to fourth density. And these wanderers often feel a deep sense of purpose and a longing for home,
Mm-hmm.
even if they don't consciously remember their origins. It's fascinating.
It
It's
is.
amazing to think that we might be interacting with these beings every day and not even realize it. So even though higher density beings respect our free will and don't directly interfere, they're still finding ways to offer guidance and support during this crucial time of transition.
And their presence also, I think, helps raise the overall vibration of the planet, which I think makes it easier for others to awaken and evolve as well.
That's incredibly hopeful.
Yeah.
It suggests that we're not alone in this journey and that there are forces working alongside us to help humanity move towards a more positive future.
Okay, so we're back and ready to kind of continue exploring this idea of how higher density beings see humanity.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this incredible compassion that they have for our struggles and even our missteps.
Right. But I'm curious about this whole concept of densities that comes up quite a bit in the Law of One.
Hmm.
It sounds like it's not just like a straight shot from where we are now to this state of unity with the Creator.
Yeah, you're right. It's not just like a simple linear progression. The Law of One describes these densities as different levels of awareness or spiritual evolution.
Okay.
It's almost like, think of it as like a spiral staircase where each level represents a deeper understanding of love, wisdom, unity, all of that.
Okay, I can visualize a spiral staircase.
Yeah.
So where are we humans currently on this cosmic staircase?
So we are currently transitioning from third density to fourth density. Third density is all about making choices.
Okay.
You know, it's about learning to distinguish between service to self and service to others. It's almost like a cosmic training ground where we grapple with duality and the challenges of ego.
So that's where we are now.
Yeah.
Okay. And fourth density is where things start to shift towards greater unity and understanding.
Exact. Fourth density is characterized by a much deeper awareness of love and compassion. It's a realm where we begin to transcend the limitations of ego, and we start to experience this more profound sense of connection with all things.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I imagine not everyone is ready to make that leap all at the same time, though. What happens to those who aren't quite ready for fourth density when the planet makes that shift?
Well, the Law of One describes this process called harvesting.
Harvesting.
Yeah, where souls who have achieved a certain level of spiritual maturity, you know, they graduate to the next density. Those who aren't ready simply continue their journey in third density, either on Earth or on another planet that aligns with their level of evolution.
So it's not like a punishment or a failure to remain in third density.
You're right.
Just a continuation of the learning process at a different pace.
Precisely. There's no judgment attached to it. Each soul is on its own unique journey. And we all eventually reach that state of unity, even if it takes, you know, a few extra loops around the spiral staircase.
A few extra loops around the spiral staircase. I
Yeah.
like that. This whole concept of densities and harvesting, it really makes you think about the people you encounter in your life and where they might be on their own journeys.
Yeah.
It also makes me wonder about those wanderers that we talked about earlier. If they're coming from higher densities, does that mean that they've already mastered the lessons of third density?
In a sense, yes. They've already graduated from that the school of third density, we could say,
Yeah.
and have chosen to return to help others who are still navigating its challenges. And it's a profound act of service.
Yeah.
And it comes with its own unique set of difficulties.
What kind of difficulties?
Imagine like stepping back into a classroom where everyone is still learning the basics while you've already, you know, moved on to more advanced concepts.
Yeah,
There can be this sense of disconnect, you know, this feeling of not quite belonging.
I see that.
Wanderers often experience a deep longing for home, you know, a yearning for the higher vibrational realms that they're accustomed to.
It must be so challenging to navigate this denser reality
Yeah.
when you've already experienced that lightness and unity of the higher densities.
Right. And yet they choose to come back, knowing the difficulties they'll face, you know. Because their compassion for humanity is so strong. They see our potential even when we're struggling. And they're here to offer that guidance and support during this crucial time of transition.
You know, it makes you realize that compassion isn't about fixing other people's problems or shielding them from pain,
Right.
but it's about holding space for their growth, even when that growth involves challenges and missteps.
Exactly. And it's about recognizing the inherent worth of every soul, regardless of where they are on their evolutionary journey.
This whole conversation is really shifting my perspective on how I view myself and others,
Mm.
honestly. It's making me really want to approach every interaction with a deeper sense of compassion and understanding. I have to admit, though, even with all this talk of love and unity, I still kind of struggle to understand the role of negativity in the world. If higher density beings are all about love and light, why do we experience so much darkness and suffering?
That's a question that has baffled philosophers and spiritual seekers for ages.
Yeah.
The Law of One offers an interesting perspective on this. It suggests that negativity, or what we perceive as darkness, actually serves a
A
purpose.
purpose.
Yeah.
Like what kind of purpose? It seems like something we should be trying to avoid, not embrace.
Right. But remember, third density is all about making choices.
Okay.
And in order to choose, we have to have options.
Mhm.
And negativity provides a contrast to positivity.
Mm.
It allows us to experience the full spectrum of duality and then ultimately, make a conscious choice for the path of love and service to others.
So it's like darkness exists to help us appreciate the light. Without experiencing that contrast, we wouldn't really understand the value of love and compassion.
That's the idea. It's about recognizing that even what we perceive as negative can serve a higher purpose in our evolution. It can help us refine our understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe.
That's a challenging concept, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But it is starting to make sense. It's like you're saying that even our struggles and our mistakes can ultimately lead us towards greater wisdom and compassion if we approach them with the right attitude.
And that, I think, brings us back to the power of free will. We have the choice to react to negativity with fear and anger, or we can use it as a catalyst for growth and understanding. It's about shifting our perspective and recognizing that even in the darkest of times, there's always an opportunity for learning and transformation.
This is definitely a different way of looking at things, but it's incredibly empowering too. It suggests that we're not victims of circumstance, but rather active participants in our own evolution.
Yeah. And that we have the power to choose love and compassion even in the face of adversity. That choice is what ultimately drives our spiritual growth and propels us forward on that journey back to unity.
And I'm starting to see how this all kind of ties together. It's this beautiful and complex tapestry of love and compassion and free will, even negativity, all woven together to create this grand design of our evolution.
And the Law of One, I think, offers us a glimpse into that design, provides the guidance and insights that can really help us navigate this journey with greater awareness and purpose.
This is giving me a lot to ponder,
Right.
but I'm really eager to delve even deeper into the practical applications of these teachings. But we'll have to save that for our next segment.
All right, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive into how higher density beings perceive humanity. And I'm really eager to kind of get into the more practical side of all of this.
We've been talking about these big concepts like densities and compassion and even the role of negativity, but how does all this wisdom from the Law of One actually translate into like daily life?
It's a great question. And I think it's something that Ra addresses pretty directly in the material. It's not just about having this head full of cosmic knowledge. It's
Cool.
about actually putting these principles into practice. Ra talks about the importance of cultivating what they call the heart of white magic.
Heart of white magic. Okay, that sounds intriguing,
Yeah.
but also maybe a lot intimidating. Is this where we need to start learning spells and summoning spirits?
Not quite. Think of white magic more as a metaphor for living in alignment with the Law of One.
Okay.
It's about consciously choosing love, compassion, and service to others in every moment, no matter how big or small.
So it's not about supernatural powers, but rather the choices that we make in our everyday interactions.
Exactly. It's about aligning our thoughts, our words, our actions with that deeper understanding of unity and compassion that we've been talking about. It's about recognizing that even seemingly mundane choices can be opportunities to express love and to contribute to the positive evolution of ourselves and the world around us.
I like that. It makes it feel a lot more accessible for sure.
Yeah.
Could you give some specific examples of what this white magic might actually look like in practice?
Yeah, absolutely. It could be as simple as choosing forgiveness over resentment when someone wrongs you, or offering a kind word to a stranger who seems down. It's about, being mindful of your impact on others and consciously choosing actions that uplift and support rather than harm or diminish.
It sounds like it's about cultivating this kind of radical kindness that extends to every aspect of our lives.
I think so. And that kindness isn't limited to just how we treat others. The Law of One emphasizes the importance of self-compassion as well.
Oh, right.
It's about recognizing that we too are on a journey and that making mistakes is a part of the process.
Yeah, that's so important. It's so easy to get caught up in self-judgment and criticism,
Yeah.
but it sounds like the law of one really encourages us to have a much gentler approach.
It is. It's about recognizing that we're all works in progress and
Yeah.
treating ourselves with the same understanding and compassion that we would offer to a loved one.
Yeah, I appreciate that reminder for sure. It's definitely something I need to work on. This whole conversation, honestly, it's making me realize how much our perspective shapes our experience.
Right.
Like by shifting our understanding of ourselves and the universe, we can actually start to create a more positive and harmonious reality.
That's the essence of white magic and living in alignment with the Law of One. It's about recognizing our power as creators and choosing to use that power for the highest good of all. It's incredibly empowering, but it also feels like a big responsibility. It makes you really question every choice, every action, and ask yourself, is this aligned with love and compassion?
That's the journey. The law of one encourages us to become what they call conscious seekers,
Mm.
always striving to refine our understanding and make choices that truly reflect our highest ideals. And it's not about being perfect,
Right.
but it's about constantly learning and growing.
It sounds like a lifelong process of self-discovery and refinement.
It is, and it's a journey that we're all on together, Even though we're all at different points on that path, we're all ultimately striving towards that same goal,
Yeah.
unity with the Creator.
This has been such a really illuminating deep dive into the Law of One.
Yeah.
It's really given me a whole new framework for understanding myself, the universe, and the true meaning of compassion. Do you have any final words of wisdom for our listeners as they embark on their own kind of exploration of these teachings? Yeah, just remember that you are not alone. You are loved unconditionally, and you have within you the power to create a more beautiful and compassionate world. So just trust your intuition, follow your heart, and never stop seeking the light.
Beautifully said. And to our listeners, we really encourage you to continue exploring the wisdom of the law of one and to see how these teachings resonate with your own experiences. And until next time, keep diving deep.